Hey guys, welcome back. This is day 4 of our 13 days of Halloween series here at Polly's Paper Studio. I am Ginny and I am stepping outside my comfort zone today to create this focal image. This is a stamped and colored image and I have been working on my coloring skills and I'm quite thrilled with how it turned out, so I definitely wanted to use it as inspiration for this card. So let's make this together. I've got a white dot on a gray background, pattern paper, matted with the gray cardstock, and this is going to be the base. I'm going to add, this is a quick banner shape that I just cut by folding in to the middle and clipping a dovetail out, so that was very easy, and I've got that plaid worked in, so I'm going to add this piece next, and this is just a little bit of netting in a silvery color. This comes from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I will leave a link in the description for that. And then what I want to do is wrap it around. So I've already added some adhesive to the back, and I just want to peel the sides up so that I can tuck that netting onto it and secure it between the layers. So I know that I want that to end about here, so I'm just going to hold it in place, see how I can line it up with those dots to get it nice and level. So just wrap it around and press it into that adhesive on the back. Now this side, and then once we get all of the rest of this backing tape off, I'm going to add it to my card base, and that will secure that netting in between the layers. So here is the front of my card. This is a 6x6 square top fold card, and now I'm just going to add that. It's got a bit of a border, so it's got a nice finished edge there, and it will hold that netting on perfectly. So I want to show you the inside. This is just finished with a coordinating paper, and I've left a bit of room to add a sentiment, and now I'm going to add the next layer. This is a die-cut doily. You can find many of these on Amazon now, and I'm just going to tuck that into the top. So the basic plan for this card was to replicate a basic layout that I had tried to do previously, but in my usual Ginniness, I added too many elements and really I loved the card when it was finished, but it wasn't what I had hoped for when I started, so I went back to the drawing board on this one and edited some of the things that I put on it so that I could really tell this is going to be like a color block. I've got one big circle, and then the image is mostly a circle, and the sentiment is also a circle. So I'm blocking in those shapes so it's got kind of a graphic sort of effect. For the next layer, I've got the same colorway. It's still gray and white, but now we're into a stripe. So I'm going to add that here, and you'll notice that I have that matted in that gray as well. So it is going to keep those busy patterns separate as I work along. The sentiment that I'm adding is stamped, and then so is this pumpkin. I colored him in off camera. I'm just not an expert colorist quite yet. I still want to add to my skill level on that, but I am quite happy with how it turned out. It did take quite a while to get it to this point, and I did add a few stickles to accent the details there, and so I would suggest, if you do not enjoy coloring, or you have some images of large pumpkins already that you do like, you could just fussy cut that and substitute it in. You could substitute in any Halloween image at this point. You don't have to work exactly what I'm showing in the card. You could do whatever Halloween image that inspired you to create. So I'm just going to add this. Now this layer had foam. It's popped up, so we're building that dimension. I have this on foam as well. But now that I'm added more dimension to this piece that'll be on this piece, I have to add 2 layers under here. So that way everything will be level when it is adhered. And I like this to be just about right here. And let's see, I think maybe it makes sense to have the line in that sentiment be level so that it isn't crooked there, and the rest of the image would be okay if it weren't perfectly straight. So now I've got that in place. To finish the top, I've got a little bow here that I tied with some gray ribbon, and there's a couple of little charms hanging. One is a cat with a moon, and then one is a smaller silver pumpkin, and I'm just going to secure that to the top of the card. I do hope to perhaps bring some coloring videos at some point. That's just one of the things that I would like to work on. It just doesn't always seem like there's a lot of time to pick up new skills or new techniques. But another thing that I would really like to get into is hand lettering, because, well, some of you have received packages from me in the mail, and you would know that my handwriting looks much like a small child. So I would definitely work on that if I had time. Here is some stars, and these are cut with a Sizzix Nestability die, so I can choose different sizes, and I'm going to add one here to the top, and it's kind of tucked under that pumpkin. I want to just sort of have it as an accent on the top. And for my flowers, I've got some of my Little Birdie Crafts blooms, and then I've added that leaf die cut that I have. I've added some stickles to the top. I cut it in the same cardstock as the borders because that way it kind of all ties in together, and I've added just a small little loopy bow here at the bottom. I know that I want to cover that because once I had the leaves picked out for the flowers, this was just not going to coordinate well. So you see how I can cover that with this and kind of judge how much of an angle I want to bring that in at. I've got one more of the large stars here, and I want it to go here. So now I can pretty much tell where those flowers are going to land. And I'm going to just add this star right here at the bottom, maybe at an angle. Yeah, I like that. I've got this smaller star, and I think that I would like to have it right here so that I can bring the color over to this side. You could easily substitute chipboard. If you had some chipboard stars, you could alter them with some embossing powder and heat set it so that it would be nice and sparkly. So one more smaller star can just nestle underneath where those leaves are going to fall, because I think that is a nice layered look. And then last but not least, I can add my flowers. And that is it for day 4 of our 13 days of Halloween series here at Polly's Paper. If you enjoyed this series, make sure you come back tomorrow for day 5. Give me a like, leave me a comment, and if you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe. As always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye!